Good morning. So as promised yesterday, today in this video I'm going to be talking a bit more about the 5 love languages, which helps us to communicate with people in a way that relates to them, creates an emotional response, and it's the emotional response that creates action. If you're trying to lead someone, it's the emotional response that creates powerful personal relationships, in my opinion, and it's the emotional response that creates real communication. So all this that I'm going to talk to today is out of the book called The 5 Love Languages by Florence Littau, and it's probably, in my opinion, the #1 relationship book ever written, and I would strongly recommend anyone that's at all interested in this subject get their hands on it, read it, do the quiz in it, work out for sure what love language you are if you don't already know. Basically there's 5 different love languages, and I'm going to go through each of those briefly now and give you a bit of an overview of each of the different love languages. So the first one is acts of service. I know this one particularly well because my primary love language is acts of service, and so what that means is, for me, I often will, let's go back a step. When we first meet someone, we generally go through all the 5 love languages, which when we're dating, and then after a while we will revert back to our own primary love language as how we show or demonstrate love, and that's not too good if your partner or the person you're communicating with has a different love language to you. So my primary love language is acts of service. I think this just came from my grandmother, who always did, her way of showing love was to do things for me. So acts of service, small acts of service could be like simple things like take the rubbish out, do the vacuuming, do the housework, wash the car, all those little things there. Anything that the person, doing a job for them, taking something off their to-do list, doing something, think of it in the workplace, think of it at home, think of it anywhere you like, but doing something that the other person then doesn't have to do is acts of service. And by doing that, if that person's primary love language is acts of service, then that will show or prove to them that you love them. Okay. Second acts of service. The second love language we're going to talk about is physical touch. So physical touch is obviously touching, holding hands, a loving hand on the shoulder as you're talking to someone, or touching the elbow, or obviously sex is one of them, but it's not the only one. People that are strong in this one will tend to generally often huggers, hug, kiss, all that sort of stuff. They're more physical, probably a closer space. Don't get confused though. Some people you might think, oh, that person's not a physical touch person. They will only have physical touch with people that they care about. So this is my secondary love language. So and it was brought to my attention through some male friends of mine, because I tend to touch or hug or play fight or something with people if I really care about them. So physical touch. The third love language is words of affirmation. Now, so words of affirmation, for someone that's a words of affirmation person, and that's how they experience love, I love you is simply not good enough. That is a poor substitute. It shows a lack of effort on the giver's part. They want to know why you love you. I love you because the way you make me feel is amazing. I love you because you're always doing things for me. I love you because the sparkle in your eye. So words of affirmation need to come quite regularly. They can be communicated in the written form, in verbally, but you've got to keep coming up with creative ways of expressing your love through your words. And it's not good enough to, as I said, I love you. It's just simply not good enough. It's going to need to be about expressing why you love that person, okay, and finding creative ways to express that through your words. The next love language, quality time. So quality time's an interesting one. I was fairly ignorant about this one. Quality time is not sitting down and watching a movie together, because what I learned was quality time means more like a picnic or something where your 100% focus is on the other person. So it's not about necessarily doing activities with each other. Well, it is, but the other person has to be the center of attention. You can't be going taking phone calls. You can't be going somewhere and doing something together necessarily, but not together. So it's all about having that 100% focus and doing something together that's important. So if you're going out with the kids or whatever, you need to go out with the one that wants the quality time, spending that time doing special things together, just the two of you. That's quality time. Probably one of the most challenging ones if you're not a quality time person, because it's not going to be fast. It's not like words of affirmation or doing a quick job for someone. Quality time can take time, but I'm guessing that if you get better at quality time, then you'll then have the ability to make that quality really good, and therefore it might not need to take all day. Okay, so not totally up on that one, but you'll have fun with it. The final love language we're going to talk about there is gifts. Our gifts are pretty straightforward, really. That the gift doesn't need to be a massive gift in most cases. Like, you don't have to go and buy a Mercedes for the person that you're trying to demonstrate it to, but it does need to be fairly regular. It's something that people that are high in the gifts thing needs to be. You can't wait till their birthday every year, buy them one big gift and think that's going to be enough. The sort of person that is gift orientated is going to need at least some flowers brought home every week. That wouldn't be too much to expect. Little things, but also it's got to be thoughtful. It can't just be someone that's a gift. You can't give them just any old gift, or a gift that you think they might like, or a gift that you would like, just because so that they've got something to unwrap or something you've given them. It's got to be thoughtful, something that they have gained, or something that they've wanted, or something that would be useful to them, or something that's meaningful for them. So gift is that sort of thing, and that's what you've really got to remember about, I guess, all the acts of, also all the love languages, is it's not just the action that means a lot to the person. It's about the thought that goes into it, and really putting yourself into those 5 or the individual love languages, and trying to think like that person as much as you can, and putting the thought behind it that's going to help you, whether it's the communication, whether it's the acts of service, whatever it is. It's really going to be most important to them that you put that thought and attention into it. Okay, like anything, I guess. So that's the 5 love languages. And as I said, we tend to, when we first dating or when we first meet someone, we'll use all of those, and then we slowly revert back to our default, which is whatever love language you're strongest in. So really, it's worth working out what the primary love languages are and focusing in on them a bit more. And obviously you can't just do one thing and think that's going to be it. You need to do a bit of everything, but it's really powerful to understand how your loved one or the person that you're trying to communicate with responds. So that could be whether you're a salesperson, a leader, or a lover. Hope you've found that interesting. If you like it, I really say, yeah, go read this book. This is one of my top 5 all-time books. The 5 Love Languages by Florence Liddell. Okay, actually, it's not Florence. That's it's a personality book, Florence Liddell. Anyway, it's the 5 love languages. You'll find it easy somewhere. Okay.